Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Visible signs of tensions between TPLF and Ethiopian federal government. It seems that federal government has started a campaign against the TPLF that just shows that no significant progress has been made so far in the talks being held about implementation of Pretoria deal. So, what is happening? Which campaign? Who is part of this campaign? Developments of the last 48 hours indicate gravity of the situation. I'll have a look at this development in detail. Several viewers asked questions about TPLF federal government talks in last night's live chat as well. I said I'll do a video on that in detail. So, we know that talks are underway about implementation of Pretoria deal between TPLF and Ethiopian federal government. Talks are being attended by special U.S. envoy to the Horn of Africa, Mike Hammer. To African Union is mediating because a few days ago, Tigray interim government said that it would talk to the federal government only through African Union about implementation of Pretoria deal. And TPLF is accusing, Tigray interim government is accusing the federal government that federal government is dragging its feet. It's not implementing the Pretoria deal. Federal government says it is doing more than enough. It has done its part. TPLF is not honoring its commitment. So, what are the issues which are being raised? Which campaign has been launched? Firstly, Tadase Varede held a press briefing a few days ago. He raised some issues like determination of status of Ryan Volkayat, return of IDPs, two main issues. He rejected the idea of referendum too, which was proposed by federal government a few months ago. The restoration of status of TPLF as a political party is another issue. Tigray border, alleged presence of Eritrean military in Tigray, another issue. Several other issues as well. Federal government has been questioning the presence of Tigray fighters, Tigray forces. The Tigray forces are still intact. More than 270,000 PDF member army still intact. Now the campaign. Which campaign has been launched by the federal government? Well, just last night, an Ethiopian ambassador uh, shared a tweet. Later, he deleted the tweet. This man has been very active during the 2 year long war. He was the number one critic of the TPLF. Who is he? Salman Dadefo. Suleiman Dadefo was working as Ethiopian ambassador to the UAE when war was raging in northern Ethiopia. And he, Bacha, others were very vocal against the TPLF. And then he went quiet. After Pretoria, he went quiet. No tweet for him. Last night he tweeted. And the language he used was very strong language. Use of such language from a diplomat, Ethiopian diplomat, shows how serious the situation is. What did he say? The man said, Suleiman Dadefo, that TPLF can only be trusted after it has been buried. It cannot be more, it cannot be stronger than that. TPLF can only be trusted after it has been buried. Secondly, he said, TPLF never raised the issue of Volkayat and Raya in talks when Pretoria was signed. Now, TPLF is linking demobilization, disarmament to the return of these territories. As if these territories are not returned to Tigray, Tigray will not demobilize its forces. And thirdly, lastly, very importantly, he said that Volkayat and Raya were annexed by TPLF. And these areas should not be returned to Tigray. So you see that when talks are underway, TPLF and federal government are in talks. An Ethiopian ambassador is saying TPLF should be buried. That is the way forward. These territories should not be returned to the TPLF. And by the way, yes, Tigray has refused to disband its forces reportedly. Uh, in some recent engagements, Tigray refused. Tigray says as long as there are Amhara forces, Eritrean military in Tigray territories, Tigray won't demobilize its forces. That is what we have learned as well. Then yesterday, a pro-Ethiopian government journalist leveled allegations against Getachew Reda. Sisse Agena is pro-prosperity party. He has backing of Ethiopian government reportedly. That is what is said about Sisse, that he is pro-PP, pro-federal government. And the man accused Getachew Reda. He said Getachew Reda had held some meetings in Europe with Eritrean and Egyptian government officials. I did a video on that yesterday. I told you no meetings had taken place. I could not confirm, at least to the extent of my knowledge, no such meeting happened. Maybe it happened. I could not get information, but I tried to get verified information. No verified information. No meetings happened reportedly. Sisse was also launched by the federal government to put pressure upon the TPLF, Tigray People's Liberation Front. So we are seeing a systematic campaign launched by the assets of the federal government against the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Why? Well, reason is very simple. TPLF is giving a tough time in the ongoing talks reportedly. TPLF made several compromises when talks were held, which led to signing a Pretoria deal in 2022. But now things have changed. TPLF knows federal government is weak. Federal government is fighting against Amhara forces, Amhara militia, Fano members in Amhara region, and federal government is in need of Tigray's support. Now TPLF is not negotiating from a position of weakness, I believe. Though Tigray has lots of problems, yes, scores of challenges. But I think now TPLF or Tigray's negotiating strength is better than it was in 2022. TPLF, yes, you're right that therefore is right that when talks were held about Pretoria, leading to Pretoria, TPLF did not make Volkayat Raya as issue number one there. Now, Volkayat Raya seem to be issue number one for the TPLF. TPLF wants Amhara forces, Amhara militia members, Amhara administration to be disbanded from Raya Volkayat. It wants federal government to stand with Tigray on the issue of alleged presence of Eritrean military in Tigray. Eritrea denies. Eritrea says it has no military presence in Tigray, in Ethiopia. Rather, the territories under Eritrean military control are part of Eritrea. So, Tigray knows that now it can put pressure upon the federal government. Federal government knows as well that Tigray still is not in a position, is not in a strong position. TPLF not eligible to contest election. Raya Volkayat not return to Tigray. 1 million IDP still in Tigray. Getachew interim president, no elections held. No large funds allocation for demobilization of Tigray forces as well. So Tigray is in trouble as well. Both sides are trying to have a leverage at the table to get the maximum from the other side. That is why these campaigns are being launched. No progress has been achieved so far, reportedly. Talks underway. We'll update you in coming videos. If talks collapse, it would be a big disappointment. Because if talks collapse, then obviously the tension could take another turn too. TPLF, Tigray would definitely try to exert more pressure upon federal government. Federal government will try to tighten the siege. Tigray is still under siege. It has been under siege since 2020 when the war broke out. Overall, the signs indicate that no considerable progress has been made, but talks still ongoing. Sulman, therefore, deleted his tweet. Maybe pressure came from the government that he spoke too much. He should have been restrained in his criticism of TPLF. He used very strong language. That is why therefore has deleted his tweet. But we are seeing a systematic campaign against the TPLF, against Tigray interim government to some extent too. But main target is TPLF, not interim government. But the way Sisagina spoke against Getachew, alleging meetings between Getachew and interim, Getachew and Eritrean Egyptian officials, it means that maybe now Getachew is not also, he is not on good terms with federal government. He has been on good terms with Abiy. There was some sort of gulf between Getachew and TPLF. It seems that now both Getachew and TPLF are being taken as the one by the federal government. That is why campaign is targeting both interim government and the TPLF reportedly. Thank you for watching.